Ooh, 5-star potential, 4.5, couple of 3.5s. That's a real good youth intake.
Incoming
Really
message.
nice. Oh, hello, what's this? Club Necaxa have sacked their manager. It could go either one or two ways. Either it's going to be really embarrassing if we lose, or they're going to be absolutely terrible. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Hexagon Challenge here on Shaun Does FM. I hope you are doing well. Today we're playing the quarterfinal of the CONCACAF Champions League against a managerless Club Necaxa, as you would have seen from that intro. Hopefully we can make our way through to the semi-finals, where we will be taking on either Dorados of Mexico or the Chicago Fire of the MLS. So if you're looking forward to today, remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already, also consider hitting that subscribe button and turning the notification bell on as well. It is greatly appreciated as we get down to the real business end of this Hexagon challenge, hopefully as we look to complete the last piece of the puzzle. But before we crack into things today, we have had our youth intake. Not too sure how important this is going to be. Of course, it does depend on our success in the Champions League, and even then could be next season as well, because a lot of these guys are still quite young. But it's probably the best youth intake that we've had in this entire series to date. You can see we've got a few players with some real potential. If you haven't been around this channel for long, I usually sign the guys who are 3 stars rated or higher in potential, and that means there's quite a few guys here who we can look to sign. But the clear standout in terms of future potential is Luis Rolando Obina. He is a right winger with that 5-star potential. Current ability, not too much, but he looks like he could be a very promising player in the future, albeit not too sure if we're going to get to see just how good he ends up being. But in terms of current ability, Jorge Torres is probably the pick of them. Just a little bit less on the potential overall ability, but his current ability is already 2 stars for an attacking midfielder at 15 years old. So some quite promising looking players here in this youth intake of ours. So for the future, I will put the save up once we do finish this challenge in the last episode, whenever that is. But a few players for the future there for you guys to play with, if that is your fancy. A really good looking youth intake for us there, as well as some random New Zealand goalkeeper who's popped up in our youth intake, but mostly Mexicans, one American as well who's a striker who doesn't look too much chop, but quite nice looking Mexicans there in this year's youth intake for us. But we have had 3 Liga MX games since yesterday's episode, which was the first round against Nashville, which if you did miss, I will leave a link to in the top right corner. 3 games in Liga MX. First off, we took on a decent Deportivo Guadalajara team. These guys, of course, met us in the quarterfinals of the first phase of Liga MX, and we were held to a 0-0 draw by these guys a few days after that Nashville game, with a pretty heavily rotated team off the back of that game. Probably should have won this game. You look at the stats and we had 3 times the amount of shots, a little bit more, about 3.5 in fact. Really dominated the game. Not too sure how we didn't pick up a goal. The first half, pretty average, but we certainly got our butts into gear in the second half, but just couldn't break through, which was a little bit disappointing, but it doesn't hurt us too much, luckily. So a bit of a disappointing result for us there, but off the back of that, against 2 teams who are right down near the bottom of Liga MX, our results have improved. First off, we took on Pachuca with the first choice 11 and picked up a good 3-0 win here. Took us a little while in the first half to get going in this game. This time we are in the all white instead of our usual colours. A good ball played in there for Renan, but the deflection falls to Nunez and he puts it away to make it 1-0 just before half time. Then about a quarter of an hour through the second half, Renan just outside the box. Jimenez with a strike that's blocked and a rebound shot again, this time from Egues. Really nice finish into that top left corner. He has proved quite good since coming to the club off the bench and in this rotation team. And then Ayala, who came on and actually played left wing instead of left back. That's usually where he plays, but with our left wing situation at that stage, we still needed a bit more depth there. He came on off the bench to replace a tired Nunez and put one away quite nicely with 10 minutes to go. They would give us a good 3-0 win away from home. A pretty deserved scoreline when you look at things, and a good result bouncing back from the prior draws, both against Guadalajara and Nashville to round off yesterday's episode. And then we put the rotation team out on our trip to Cancun, which sounds like a nice little team bonding exercise, albeit probably lucky we had the CONCACAF Champions League going on, because otherwise that could have ended in a bit of a wild night. But we did pick up a 2-0 win here with the rotation. Both goals coming in the first half, the first of which in the 33rd minute, Hernandez finds Garcia and Solly just taps that in to make sure it hits the back of the net and we make it 1-0. And then right before half-time, in extra time, Gutierrez gets picked out. It's a lovely little cut inside there to do his man, and the goalkeeper as well. Really nice finish there from Alejandro Gutierrez, who did play this game, as Iguez was just a little bit tired, as he has had quite a bit of football with Gutierrez just picking up the odd niggle here and there throughout the season. So Gutierrez started this time around and did a good job for us to get that second goal in particular. That was it, and we picked up another pretty well-deserved 2-0 win, just outdoing our XG, and Cancun never really firing a shot, which is what you'd expect of the team all the way down at the bottom of Liga MX this second phase. And what that means is we have actually extended our lead out to 5 points. And you can see that Deportivo Guadalajara result with our rotation team off the back of that Nashville game actually wasn't too bad, because they are in second. So good to see our rotation picking up points against some really good teams. But today we are back in the CONCACAF Champions League and taking on, as you would have seen from the intro, a managerless Club Necaxa, and they have dropped even further since the end of yesterday's episode, now in 18th on 7 points in the second phase of the season. Really should be beating these guys over 2 legs, and hopefully that will be the case. They are a team who are down. Hopefully we can kick them while they're down and we don't get embarrassed by their interim manager. But yeah, definitely a game that we probably should be winning here today over the 2 legs. And we will come to the medical centre quickly. You can see, well, you can't see because I'll be blocking it, but we have no injured players at the moment. So that's the first time we've been able to say that for quite a while, albeit we do have some players still recovering. Wellison and Carvajal having to overcome fitness tests. Wellison is some way short of full fitness, and Carvajal only recommended for 45 minutes. So we'll have to keep that in mind when picking our 11 for today's game. But more or less everyone is available. So a bit more strength than we had for that Nashville game, which is nice to see. But we will come back shortly. We've got the home league first up this time, something a little bit different. For most of the competitions we've been in, we've had the home league second up, but this time it is for the first leg of this quarterfinal. And we'll come back shortly with the team sheets from the Estadio BBVA for this Champions League quarterfinal here in CONCACAF against a struggling Club Necaxa. And here are the team sheets. We'll go through ours first. Almaraz is back in here for this first league. If we get another good result this time around, then of course we might consider resting him for the second leg again, provided he doesn't pick up a yellow card, because as we mentioned yesterday, he is on one somehow, even though he hasn't picked one up in this competition yet. He is on a yellow in terms of continental football, so we need to manage him through being quite a good right back. We've got Montoya coming back from a suspension, and in terms of elsewhere, Wellison is the one who's going to start over Carvajal at the moment. Carvajal on the bench just because Carvajal, as you would have seen before, can only last that 45 minutes of football. Wellison seems to be just a little bit further ahead in his recovery, but no doubt we're probably going to make a change come the second half some stage with that anyway. But otherwise, this is pretty much as close to our full strength team as we've been able to get for quite a while. Club Necaxa, we haven't played them a great deal. We've beat them a few times early on in both stages of Liga MX this season. From what I can tell, they look pretty similar to what we saw them, but no real standouts in that team, and hopefully we can get a good result against these guys, much like we did against Nashville yesterday, but hopefully 2 wins out of 2 instead of just the 1 out of 2. And with us being at home, we are in the blue and white stripes with the blue shorts. Club Necaxa and the red and white stripes are pretty simple to tell the teams apart here, and we will be kicking off playing left to right in front of our home crowd. Hopefully we can get a nice first leg result, not concede any goals. That's going to be quite important as we make our way forward early. And Gutierrez goes down and has already picked up a knock, so that's a little bit concerning. No injury icon, but not a great start for us there as we pick up an early knock to Gutierrez, albeit he is able to continue. And we now look to get another attack going here in the 4th minute. Gutierrez with a shot, tries to chip Bertrand, but he tracks back nicely to keep that out of the net, and it still remains nil. Also Gutierrez, hopefully we can nurse him through to half-time and maybe bring on Iguez then. That's a poor pass there from the Club Necaxa player as another highlight starts, and now Wellison down this left wing puts a ball in. Puente with a shot. It is blocked, and we will have a corner, but a good start from us here for the most part as we have a corner in the 6-minute. Renan to put this in. Paulo gets his head to it straight at Beltran, and it will remain 0-0 after 6 minutes. 24 minutes gone here. We have a free kick. Renan looking to pick out Puente at the far post. Cantu heading that away, but Jimenez on the ball just shuffles that back for Montour, and we look to build something here in a good area of the pitch and try and get an early goal to make the most of this home advantage in this first leg. Montoya to Barco, just holding the ball up. Back to Montoya, and now we've found Renan in a bit more space. Good areas with a shot from a long way out, and he puts it in the back of the net. So glad we left him on until half-time at the moment anyway, because despite being on a yellow heart early, that's a really good finish. Not too sure about the goalkeeping there from the Club Necaxa one, because probably should have stopped that. Looked like it was more or less straight at him, maybe slightly to the left. He just, yeah, interesting save attempt there, but good areas with a long-range screamer, and we go 1-0 up at the 25-minute mark. 31 minutes gone here. Club Necaxa with a throw, and they try and play out from the back and try and get an away goal, which would be a little bit annoying. This is a team, as I said, who we should really be beating down in 18th in Liga MX, so hopefully we can do the job quite comfortably against these guys, and we've started things off well with a 1-0 lead, but they're on the attack here and looking quite dangerous. A ball in Rubio, down for Barco. Really good chance there for Club Necaxa, but he puts it high and wide, and it does remain 1-0 with about 10 minutes to go in this first half of the first leg. And that is half-time. It was a pretty solid first half from us. We nearly gave Club Necaxa a let-off there, and they nearly got an away goal, which could have been frustrating because they hadn't done much up until then, but we started off that first half quite well and eventually got the goal in the 25th minute through Guti areas. We are going to have to take him off at halftime. You can see he is on a red heart, playing well, but we'll bring Egues on for him. Hopefully it's not too serious an injury. I guess it can't be because he didn't have to come straight off, and he did persevere throughout that first half, but we will make that one change at halftime. But on the whole, pretty good first half. Hopefully we can keep playing as well as we did for the most of it and get a few more goals to make the most of this home advantage, as it is 1-0 halfway through the home league, the first leg of this Champions League quarterfinal. 47 minutes gone here. Club Necaxa with a clearance, which Paulo will tidy up, and we look to get something going early in the second half and try and extend this advantage a little bit more, because at 1-0 this game certainly would still be in the balance if this was the scoreline going into the second leg at Club Necaxa's home ground. But we do get the ball for Durena, and good ball out to Almaraz. He finds Egues, tight angle, nice ball there for Wallace, and that's a wonderful goal. Egues with a lovely assist, might have even done a little Panenka sort of Rabona assist there, and Wallace on puts that away in the top right corner, and we go 2-0 up early in the second half. Exactly what we're after. Some really nice passing there. Almaraz to find Egues. It's a little dink which finds Wallace on in just enough space and gets that on the wrong side of the defenders. The goalkeeper probably wasn't too well sided for that, and we go 2-0 up early in the second half of this first league. Okay, 60 minutes gone here, and Barber isn't on a great rating at left back today. He's still on a green heart, but a 6.4 will bring Ayala on for Barber. That will be our second change in this first league, but things going very well at the moment. 2-0 up with a half hour to go. 68 minutes gone here, and we have a throw-in just inside the right half of the field for us, and Ayala does receive that back from Wallace on. Not too sure if we're going to be able to bring Carvajal on because of that change that we had to make, and there's a penalty. It looked pretty soft, that, and of course with no VAR in this CONCACAF Champions League, that's a pretty easy chance for us to make it 3-0, and Barco will look to put this away. Just gets it past the goalkeeper, and that is a nice, comfortable scoreline at home with 20 minutes to go in this first leg. A bit of an iffy penalty decision, but we'll take it. No VAR seeming to help us at the moment, which is nice to be able to say. Barco tucking the penalty away nicely in that bottom right corner, and we make it 3-0 with 20 minutes to go in this first leg at home. 74 minutes gone here. We do have the ball at the back with Schneller as Club Necaxa attack just finishes, and we look to get going again down this left-hand side through Wellison. Good chance to make it 4, but he hits it wide, and it still remains 3-0 with just over a quarter of an hour to go in this first league. 12 minutes to go here in this first league, and as you can see, this little thing's popped up, and it does seem like a good idea, the substitution. Almaraz, of course, on a yellow card. I was saying I'm not too sure where it came from. It must have come from the League's Cup earlier in the season, but one more yellow card and he would be suspended for a game, so I think we're just going to take him off with this league pretty comfortably under control and potentially the entire tie as well. We'll make the same change that we did in the last episode. Clayton to come on for him when with 12 minutes to go. That is all our subs used, and we're still 3-0 up in a good position here in the home league. Shortly off the back of that substitution here, we do have a free kick. We look to find Paulo there, and the goalkeeper just gets his fist to it to punch it out, but we are back in possession, still in the right area of the pitch. Ball there for Puente, tries to play it for Wallace on. His shot is blocked, and we will have a corner, but looking quite good here. A little bit more clinical in front of goal in the second half than we were in the first to make it 3-0. We have the corner. That's a really good save there from Beltran at short range. Barco puts the ball over the top. Wallace just keeps us in, so we are still on the attack. His attempt to put it back into the mixer blocked, but good chance there from the corner, but it does remain 3-0 with less than 10 minutes to go. 3 minutes to go, and Club Necaxa with a throw. We've pulled our wingers back, slowed the tempo down just to try and keep them from getting an away goal, and they nearly get one there, a good ball, but the header goes wide, and it's still 3-0 as we enter added time. 93 minutes gone here. We have a free kick as now we just look to deny Club Necaxa an away goal, and luckily Wallace picks it out before they try and cut it out. What can he do? Back out to Ayala in a lot of space, and hopefully that will see us hold on to this 3-0 lead, although a poor ball there, and they look to get going down the right-hand side through Contreras, puts the ball in, but Paulo will cut that out, albeit straight to Rosales, and they look to come at us again, looking for what could be an important away goal, but that is a poor ball straight at Schneller, and hopefully from here we just slow things down and see this out as a 3-0 result in the home league. Is quite a good one. We pump it deep. Cantu on the ball, up to Gonzalez, over added time now. Villalba on the ball, out to Gonzalez as they try and get another attack going, but the referee finally blows it up, and that's a very good solid 3-0 win in the first league here, and that bodes well for the second league. Dominated that game for the most part. They did have a few shots late in the first half and also in the second half, so they came at us late in both halves, but luckily for us, that first goal from Goody Areas in the 25th minute. Still not sure about the goalkeeping from their goalkeeper there, but then a couple of strikes in the second half as well through Wallace and then through Barco from the penalty spot. Not too sure about that penalty, to be honest, but no VAR in this Champions League, and that's a good solid 3-0 win as we go into the second leg away from home. So what we'll do is we'll come back, run you guys through the other results in this Champions League, show you guys highlights from our Liga MX game in between now and the second leg, and then we'll crack straight into things and hopefully make our way through to the semi-finals. So we're back and we'll show you guys the highlights of this Liga MX game first. An interesting game it was against Club Leon, who pushed us quite close in the first part of the season. From memory, in fact, I think we drew with them in the league stage, but it took us until the second half to open the scoring here. Goody Areas from a tight angle back out to Clayton, and it's Hernandez heading one forward, Solly poaching that and putting that in the bottom right corner to make it 1-0, and then very late on with the game looking to be wrapped up, a poor pass there. Nunez gets on the end of that over to Goody Areas and whacks that into the top left corner, and we pick up a pretty solid 2-0 win. Goody Areas with a goal off the bench, as well as Solly, who started. You can see Club Leon actually had quite a few shots, 9 overall, but none on target, and we were clinical enough with ours. Our XG a little bit higher than what we got, but in the end, a pretty solid 2-0 win. And what that does for Liga MX is keep our 5-point gap at the top of the table over Deportivo Guadalajara. But the main focus today and for the rest of the season, given how things stand here in this Hexagon Challenge, is the CONCACAF Champions League. And every other tie has already finished. We are playing on the last day. The other ties have happened on the Tuesday and Thursday, so we know where things stand going into the second leg. So the Chicago Fire winning 3-2 on aggregate. So if we get through the second leg without a major collapse, that is who we would be taking on in tomorrow's semi-final. On the other side of the draw, the Vancouver Whitecaps getting the job done over Pumas 2-1, and the Houston Dynamo 3-1 on aggregate over LAFC. So if we make our way through, in fact, no matter which team out of us and Club Necaxa makes it through, all the remaining opposition would be from the MLS. So it's a battle to see which team is the last one standing of the Mexicans, and hopefully for us, it will be us, and we can make our way through to a semi-final against the Chicago Fire tomorrow. But we'll come back shortly for the second leg of this quarterfinal, 3-0 up and in a good position heading into this away leg. So here are the team sheets for the second leg. This time it is at Club Necaxa's home ground. From what we can tell, they're looking pretty similar to the first leg. In terms of us, again, we've brought Clayton in for Alvarez just because of that yellow card that's just lingering. We're in a pretty good position, so I feel like we can risk not having him in the squad, saving him for those games in the semi-final, hopefully. And the other change that we've made from the first leg is that Egues comes in for Gutierrez. Gutierrez just a bit of a heavy match workload and a bit more injury prone at the moment, so Egues will get the start in this Champions League second leg quarterfinal. But otherwise, the exact same lineup that we had in the first league, and hopefully we can pick up a similar result and make our way through to a semi-final against the Chicago Fire. And Club Necaxa in the exact same uniform as they were in the away league, the first league. We're in our black and blue for this one, and Club Necaxa will be kicking off playing right to left as we nearly cut that ball out early. A good ball though played over the top for Nadali. Just gets that wide and high, but an early chance here for Club Necaxa. It does still remain 0-0, although now we have a throw and look to get off to a good start down the other end of the pitch and maybe get an early away goal to try and wrap this up. Puente with a header forces a decent save there at a Beltran. I thought it might just be going wide anyway, but he wanted to make sure of it. But we will get given a corner here in the second minute. Renan puts it in and Paulo beats the goalkeeper who went the complete wrong way for that. And that's a brilliant start for us. 4-0 up on aggregate and we've got an away goal now. So it is Club Necaxa who are really up against it. They'll now need 5 goals to go through. The header, the goalkeeper just went completely the wrong way for that. Not sure if it took a deflection or not, but early on we've got that nice 1-0 lead, 4-0 on aggregate in the second leg. 5 minutes gone here. We have a free kick which we take short. The ball played through there for Puente. It's a bit of an iffy short pass there, but Club Necaxa will tidy things up, but we look to get going again down the right-hand side. Egues is back for Clayton as we look to make it 2-0 early in the second leg and really put this beyond doubt, albeit I can't see Club Necaxa in their current form scoring 5 goals anyway, but we'll look to absolutely put this beyond doubt as Barco just outside the box for him, and he's just knocking it about nicely, holding the ball up. Renan tries to put a pass through, it is blocked, and now Rubio gets through there. A bit of sloppy work from Paulo, I believe. Contreras with a shot, but it's straight at Schneider. Good chance for them to equalise, but it remains 1-0 on the day, 4-0 on aggregate. 40 minutes gone here, so since we got that opening goal fairly early on, it's been a pretty quiet first half, but we're in a pretty good position as Clayton makes his way down the right. Renan finds Puente. It's a little bit messy as they try and clear it there to Club Necaxa, but eventually they get the job done, and then Dari down this left-hand side. A couple of chances for him here in the first half, but Schneller putting out a decent save there at the near post, and we do keep it at 1-0 for now. We'll just tell Montoya to ease off tackles, seeing as he's on that yellow card, and the corner still will get shown, so we'll see what happens here as Mendieta puts this in. It goes towards the far post. We get rid of it. A good chance there for them to make it 1-1 before half-time, but now we have a throw-in shortly off the back of that. Good ball there for Puente, and down the other end, Egues with the assist. We make it 2-0, and surely now we'll be making our way through to the semi-finals of this CONCACAF Champions League. It's a simple ball from Egues from the throw-in to Clayton. I say simple ball. Nice bit of late curve on it, and he puts that away just past the left hand of the goalkeeper, just getting enough on it to get past that outreached hand. And as we head into halftime, it looks like it will be 2-0 to us and 5-0 on aggregate. And indeed, that is the case. A really good half from us. Club Necaxa still showing enough. They're still looking threatening at times, but we have been quite clinical with our chances and are now in a position where we should be going through to the semi-finals. Egues is on a yellow heart, so what we might do at halftime is bring Gutierrez on for him. He should be able to handle 45 minutes of football, I think. And apart from that, we'll crack into the second half and hopefully keep this good run of form going as we're in a really good position here. 5-0 on aggregate with 2 away goals in a great position. We're making our way through to the semi-finals of the Champions League here in CONCACAF North America. 46 minutes gone, so an early highlight here in the second half as we have a throw and look to make it 3-0 in both leagues, albeit that's a really sloppy back pass there, and Rubio will look to get one back here for Club Necaxa if he's just holding this on the edge of the box. Cantu with a shot. That's a really nice save there from Schneller, holding on to that with a diving save. Good save, and it does remain 2-0 early on in the second half of the second league, 5-0 on aggregate. Okay, 60 minutes gone here, and we are going to make a substitution. We're going to bring one of our best players at the club back into the first team mix. Carvajal will come on for Wellison on a yellow heart. We'll give him some match fitness, which might be needed. Hopefully then he'll be ready to go for a full game. In the semi-finals, that will be our second substitution. Our first choice wingers back out on the pitch. Looking forward to seeing what Carvajal can do back from injury. But with a half hour to go, still in a really strong position. 2-0 up on the day, 5-0 on aggregate. 76 minutes gone here in Club Necaxa with a throw as they still try and get a goal back in this tie, albeit it's just a case of pride for them now as we are well and truly on our way through to the semi-finals of this Champions League here in North America. But we do get possession back, and Puente makes his way forward to Renan. Good ball there for Puente and forces a decent save there out of Beltran. They clear it for a corner, so the danger isn't over yet as Renan's going to try and put one in and get another assist next to his name, but they do hit it back out to him. We'll see if we get another chance going from this attack. It's a foul given there now just outside the box, but they won't show the free kick, and it does remain 2-0 at the 80-minute mark. And off the back of that highlight, we will make our last substitution. Barco on a red hard. Straight swap here, Fernando Garcia to come on for him. That's the last substitution. Just keep some legs fresh for the next couple of games in mind, with the semi-final in mind, albeit I think we've got an international break before then, but looking very good. 5-0 up on aggregate with just 8 minutes left to play. And now we have a throw-in off the back of that substitution, albeit deep in our own half, as we look to make it 3-0 across both legs and 6-0 overall. We pump one deep there though, and Club Necaxa now look to play out from the back themselves. You can see a lot of their players here are on yellow cards, so they're definitely getting stuck in to try and upset us here, but it hasn't worked over the two legs, and they will be now after a new manager who can hopefully bring them back to the Champions League, no doubt, after they made a final in the first half of the season last year. But they got a good chance here through Halazo, back out to Chapguez, I believe that is, and he plumps that back to Cantu, just holding the ball up quite nicely outside our box here at Club Necaxa. Good ball over the top there for Gonzalez, forces a decent save there out of Schneller. They will have a corner, but they've had a few decent shots on target here in the second leg. Schneller, though, getting some good saves off, and there's another one off the corner. In fact, it's gone high, and it does remain 2-0, and now they will show the goal kick of ours, but the game well and truly wrapped up scoreline-wise. We are in no danger of being knocked out, but Gutierrez now makes his way forward. A poor pass there, though, and we just do enough to cut that out from Montoya. Has picked up another yellow card, so not too sure what that would mean for him in the semi-finals. He's picked up a few yellow cards in the last couple of episodes since we've joined this Champions League. Renan with a shot there, just wide, but still looking very good for us here. 5-0 with 5 minutes to go on aggregate. 92 minutes gone. We are over referees added time. We have a throw in which we give straight to Club Necaxa. They pump it infield, look to get something going late, but that will do it. A pretty good performance over both legs, and we're going to be making our way through to the semi-final. You can see, as I said, late in that game, they picked up a butt ton of yellow cards. That's 6 I can see there, and there may even be one higher up, but we got the job done. 2-0 on the day, thanks to goals to Paulo and Puente, and that followed up the 3-0 result in the home league. So a very good performance, a bit more clinical and well-rounded than the performance against Nashville yesterday in the first round here. As you can see, lots of yellow cards there for Club Necaxa, but a good result over both legs. 5-0 on aggregate, and we will be playing the Chicago Fire in the Champions League quarterfinals tomorrow, which will be an interesting tie against the team we are yet to come up against in the save. So a very good result for us there, and as you can see, and as we already knew, we are going to be taking on the Chicago Fire in the semi-finals tomorrow, and the other semi-final will decide who we would play in the final if we get there. Vancouver, who have already beaten this season in the League's Cup at their home ground as well, so no fears for us there. They take on the Houston Dynamo, probably the best team in America, given they are the defending MLS champions. But that's how the semi-finals look. We are the last team from Liga MX in there, and that really should make us favourites, you'd think, but we need to get past Chicago first, and then one of Vancouver and Houston. But that will be tomorrow, the semi-final against the Chicago Fire. Both legs we've got a couple of Liga MX games before then, and there's an international break in between that. There's a game, the Clásico Legio, and the one against Atletico San Luis. So hopefully we get no injuries on international duty there, and all our players will be back available, much like they were for today's games. But if you did enjoy today's episode, where we got the job done fairly comfortably over a managerless Club Necaxa, then remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already, also consider hitting that subscribe button and turning that notification bell on as well. It is greatly appreciated, especially as we get right towards the end of this Hexagon challenge. There could now only be 2 episodes left if things go to plan, a semi-final and hopefully then a final where maybe we will finally complete this Hexagon challenge. But until the semi-finals against the Chicago Fire tomorrow, thank you very much for watching. Keep on keeping on, and I'll see you then. Cheers.